This is the broadest, most diverse coalition that the Republican Party has ever seen, sweeping in not only President Trump and all the battleground states, but bringing a new Senate majority into office, retaining the House majority. And the way to cement these gains politically, which will be my focus both on the legislative side and the political side, will be to pass the agenda that President Trump ran on and that the American people wholeheartedly endorsed and frankly extended to the halls of Congress, clearly because they want to see that agenda passed. So the answer is to get the job done and do what we told the voters that we said we would.
That is the incoming White House Deputy Chief of Staff, James Blair, talking about what he calls the broadest, most diverse coalition the Republican Party has ever seen. Now, I'm 40 years old. I was born when Reagan was reelected, so I've been watching this not as long as maybe Reagan was actually running, but even in the amount of time that I've been paying attention to politics, I've never seen the Republicans be the broad tent party. And it really feels as though that was the success behind this Donald Trump victory in this election. Let's talk to Kayleigh McEnany, co-host of Outnumbered on Fox, a former White House press secretary for Donald Trump. She is also the author of a wonderful book you must get for this holiday season, Serenity in the Storm. Kayleigh, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's good to have you here.
Hey, Annie, great to be here.
I appreciate you and your time. And I'm wondering, you've been on the inner circle, of course, of how the Trump administration runs, and you're seeing this assembly the second time around. I'm sure you have plenty of connections, a lot of people you're talking to. What kind of vibe do you have right now about the ability for this second term to be an effective term under Donald Trump?
Oh, I have no doubt it will be an effective term. Trump has put together a cabinet of individuals who will shake up Washington. These are not swamp dwellers. These are not career government officials. Some of them have served, of course, in the House or the Senate, but these are not people who, are going in with a motive for themselves. These are people who are going in to change the status quo. And I'm thrilled to see the direction his cabinet's taking. But mostly what I'm thrilled because, everyone may say, oh, I would have rather had this person or that person in X, Y, or Z cabinet position. Everyone has preferences. I like to see traditional conservatives, for example, in positions. But what I do know is the person at the top is President Trump. He made this a very successful first term and putting in place, policies that led to no new wars, a booming economy. So at the end of the day, the buck stops with him, and we'll see which cabinet officials get through, if any of them don't. But the person at the top is someone who's got instincts I think are going to make this country a great and prosperous place.
Oh, it's wonderful to hear you say that. Kayleigh McEnany with us right now. We played on our show yesterday. I know that you've been covering this as well. What a turn of events to watch Mika and Joe go to Mar-a-Lago on Friday and then show up on Monday and tell their audience and try to explain to them why they would do that. I saw Senator Chris Coons talking about the Department of Government Efficiency, saying that this is something that needs to be done and could be very helpful for our American economy to be able to cut spending from the Democrat side of the aisle. It seems to me like maybe somehow Donald Trump didn't just win the election, that he's actually gotten to the point where he's winning the culture.
Yeah, he is. I mean, when you look at the sea change that happened on election night, you see a true and real mandate, one in which he had a double-digit increase among Latinos, double-digit increase among Black Americans, double-digit increase among Gen Z. I mean, stop and think about that. 18 to 29-year-olds, he won, according to NBC exit polling, the greatest number of young people of any president in the Republican Party going back to 2008. He even had a 9% increase among young females. And young females were supposed to be the cavalry riding in for Kamala Harris to save the day, motivated solely by abortion. Well, that did not happen. He's changed the party. I mean, it's a working man's party now. It's a party with a lot of energy, a lot of people coming on board. In blue states, the gains were incredible. I mean, every state or jurisdiction shifted right, with the exceptions of Utah and the District of Columbia. We'll see. For the momentum to continue, it's got to be a successful second term. I think it will be. And then it's up to somebody else 4 years from now to pick up that mantle, run with it, and keep this the working class party. I never thought we would be able to say that about the Republican Party, but indeed that is the case today.
Yeah, it's quite something, and it's like I'm studying it. I want to learn more about it. I feel like I can't predict everything that's happening next because I keep getting these positive surprises. In the campaign leading up to the election, we were hearing so much, as we generally do, and you and I are both white women, but the liberal, college-educated white women, the strong component of voters over for Kamala Harris. It's interesting to me to see like the world of woke that seems to be kind of going by the wayside right now. DEI is under attack pretty much everywhere it exists right now. That we've heard about, these white women come on to the stage and they tell everybody how it's going to go. And there was so much coming from that demographic towards people who weren't white women, and they were saying you need to vote this way because these people need to be represented. Why did these college educated white women always feel the need, like they were being demanded to go speak for everyone and then to tell everyone how they needed to vote? And America said no thanks.
And actually Trump outright won white suburban women. I mean, it's amazing. He outright won that demographic. It wasn't just the young women that he did not win outright, but he had this 9% increase with, but he won white suburban women. So at the end of the day, all the things we were told, abortion was going to motivate everyone. Well, actually, Republicans won the first three state initiatives, ballot initiatives on the issue of life in Nebraska and Florida. And then there was one other state, so 3 total. So it didn't happen. And you mentioned a cultural shift. There was a rejection of the transgender issue in a huge way. The most effective ad for Donald Trump was the one where he said, Kamala's for they, them, I'm for you. It moved the electorate by 2.7 percentage points when they tested it in their focus groups. And Kamala tried to respond with ads, but they ended up performing so low that they did not even air the ads. So on these big cultural issues that were supposed to propel Democrats to victory, the opposite happened.
It's fun to watch. I'm so glad that this side of the election is fun because when you have to cover it every day,
yes.
I was so worried about the other outcome. We're speaking to Kayleigh McEnany. She's a co-host of Outnumbered on Fox. I watch you guys every day. You also are the author of Serenity in the Storm. You talk very openly about your faith. And, on this side of the election, when Donald Trump won, yay, Republicans, whatever. But when it comes to the abortion issue, when it comes to a lot of these cultural issues, I'm trying to encourage people in Missouri, where that abortion amendment did pass here, and it's quite something to have as red of a state as Missouri, and then see that abortion amendment pass here.
Yeah.
I really, really want to encourage people that are conservative of mine, pro-life of mine, or even anti-abortion and maybe kind of soft on being pro-choice, understand that there is a lot of room with the culture, with faith communities that needs to be done before we rely on the correct politician to get in office. And I'm just giving you an opportunity to speak a little bit on the issue. I know, like I said, you're a woman of faith, about this issue of abortion. Is the solution going to be somewhere with some politician in some election that's going to wave their magic wand and make this all okay?
Well, it has to start with the church. You're exactly right. And it has to start with our pastors, our priests being vocal about it, and then us sharing with our friends and neighbors our view of the issue from a place of compassion. A surefire way to lose the abortion issue is to not speak about it. And the takeaway we have in Nebraska, in South Dakota, and in Florida, where we won on the issue of life, is that in each of those cases, you had courageous Republican elected officials who spoke on the issue. Governor DeSantis put the full force of his political power behind the issue. He explained it. He explained that this leads to taxpayer-funded abortion, abortion until birth, and ultimately Floridians said that is a bridge too far. So when we talk about it from a place of compassion, we win. And what I hope happens over the next 4 years is the Republican Party under Donald Trump puts forward an agenda to support vulnerable women during pregnancy. We know most women do not want to have an abortion. They just feel they're in the most dire circumstances of their lives, and they don't have the financial resources or familial support to do so. So let's be a party that doesn't just speak about abortion, but wraps our arms around those women. And I think if we do that, we will start to see an electoral change in how people vote on the issue.
Yes, and the Republican Party needs to be the party that makes adoption great again. We need to be, just like you said, surrounding these women with the resources they need to choose life. If it's the law of the land or the state and you can choose abortion, we also need to tell them that it's possible to choose life, and we need to be there in our faith communities as well. Kayleigh McEnany, you are a light for all of us when we watch you. We appreciate your time here today, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
So are you, Annie. Can't wait to join you again soon.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.